And this material world is called Dwarkadhish, a place of misery. Yeah. So this knowledge, Raja Vidya, helps us to overcome Dwarkadhish. Because we're all looking for happiness. Who here is looking for happiness? Sabi log, huh? Everyone wants to be happy. So that is Raja Vidya, king of knowledge, Raja Guyam, the most secret of all secrets. Pavitram, his knowledge is completely pure. Pavitram, you can move a little closer this way. Oh, that is good. Thank you. Move it a little bit back. Hare Krishna. A little bit forward. Us. Can you all hear?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good job. सभी लोग सुनिए? हाँ? ठीक, बस, रुको. हो गया? धन्यवाद. कृपया माफ कीजिए, मैं हिंदी बहुत खराब हूँ. anything, but just do it. But this philosophy, it does not lead to lasting happiness and satisfaction. We see this philosophy in action in the Ramayana. Yes, and I can ask everyone, please put your cell phones on meditation mode. Okay? Call me later, not now. Okay? Thank you. So this character in the Ramayana is Ravan. So Ravan was a follower of Nike and gold and power, destruction. He was killed by Ram. Khatam ho gaya. Mar gaya. This Charvak Muni philosophy states that he who dies with the most toys wins. Right? Some people think the game of life is just about more and more material possessions. I have an iPhone 6, I have an iPod, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook Pro, I have a Lamborghini, I have a big car, I have also another car in my house in Mumbai, also one in Switzerland. People have this idea to get more and more. And they want to get more and more and more things, and they think the more things that they collect, then they will win. But actually, he who dies with the most toys still dies. No matter how many toys we collect, we cannot stop death. Punarjanma is going to happen. So, when you go to the cemetery, the Christians, they bury their dead in a place called the cemetery. And you put the body in a box and put the box in a special car. The car is called a hearse. And it's a box car, you can see it, and it's designed, the box is inside. So here in this picture, we see the guy who died, his box is there in the car, in the hearse. And behind the hearse, they're pulling the U-Haul. He's carrying all of his toys, his material possessions. But you cannot carry your toys to the cemetery. Even the Egyptians, they had this idea. You remember the pyramids in Egypt? So some of the pharaohs, they would get buried, and all their wives would come and get buried with them, along with so much gold and food, so that they would have some snacks, in the other world. But this is not the case. Once they put you in the box, you cannot carry anything with you. We are born naked and lady, and her husband was getting ready to die. So her husband told her that when I die, go to the bank, take out all my money, put it in an envelope, and bury it with me. So the lady was shocked. If I do that, how I will survive? She spoke with her friends. Some of her friends were saying, yes, he's your husband, you should follow his instructions. Some of her friends were saying, no, how you'll survive with no money? Don't do it. So the day came. Her husband died, and they had the funeral. Funeral means they have the box, and everyone sees the body. They dress the dead body very nicely, so everyone can see one last time. Oh, he looks so youthful. And everyone's crying. And then they close the box. They put the box in the ground, and they're throwing the dirt on the box. And just before they close the box, she runs forward with an envelope and put the envelope in the box. And they close the box, put the box in the ground, throwing the dirt. I attended a funeral a few months ago in New York. My cousin's husband had left his body. So it was a Jewish funeral. And in the Jewish funeral, everyone takes a turn with the shovel, putting some dirt. So I also took a turn. Everyone's putting dirt, filling up the grave. So at the end of the funeral, the grave is full. The lady's crying. One of her friends comes to her. "What did you do? What did you do?" She said, "I went to the bank. I took a check. I put it in the envelope. I put it in the box. If he can cash it, he can spend it." So of course, he will not be able to cash the check, as none of us will be able to cash the check. So winning the game of life is not about acquiring more and more toys. How rich are you? Some people are so poor, they're so poor that the only thing that they have is money. There's so much more to life than money. What is really important is our relationships with others, our values, our integrity, compassion, and love. You love people not for what you do for them or what they do for you. You love them for their values and their virtues. So it is the values that we have that really create value. And one of the most important values is integrity. Integrity means walking your talk, doing what you say you will do, being trustworthy, being responsible, do what you say you will do, and to take responsibility for our mistakes, admit that we make mistakes, and do whatever we can to make up for our mistakes. Being faithful to our family members, and complete our promises. If we make a promise, if we make a commitment, we should fulfill that commitment. And also having integrity for ourselves, for our own personal lives, for our health, and for our mental health, and for our spiritual health. We should take care of all of these things. Because material side is important, and the spiritual side is also important. There must be a balance. One time there was a lady, and she wanted to buy a pet. So she went to a pet store. And in the pet store, there were so many pets. There were dogs, there were cats, there were fish, there were birds, but she did not like anything. But she saw a beautiful golden cage. She saw a Suvarna Pinjara, right? Suvarna Pinjara. And she purchased that, and she took it home. But the only thing is she did not know that inside the Suvarna Pinjara, under ek pakshi hai. There was a bird. So she was very old, she could not see, she could not hear, and the bird was hungry. Book, 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 hungry, hungry, feed me, feed me. But she could not hear. After 1 week, the bird died. Margaya. Right? Then her friend came to visit her. Her friend knocked on the door. Come in, come in. The friend came inside, and the lady said, look at my beautiful Suvarna Pinjara. And her friend said, you fool, Mork, don't you know that inside the cage there was a bird? So there's a very important lesson, shiksha, in this story. The cage, the Suvarna Pinjara, is the body, and the pakshi is the soul. So we have to take care of both. We have to take care of our body, and we have to take care of our soul. So how to take care of the body? Take bath, snan, brush, kaya, eat something, some exercise, right? Put some nice kopra, and to pray, come to mandir, take Krishna Prasadam, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Read Bhagavad Gita, discuss Bhagavad Gita. So we need to have both. Our physical activities, the body, this will help us to go through life. We'll get our salary, we'll get our paycheck from the body. So we'll go through life. But the spiritual activities, adhyatmic activities, will help us grow through life. So we don't want to just go through life, we want to grow through life. So integrity is that guiding light. It's like a compass and tells us what we should do and what we should not do according to our values. Harvey McKay writes, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. So integrity will help us build character. And character is so important. If you lose your money, not much is lost. If you lose your health, something is lost. If you lose your character, everything is lost. So integrity is so important. Integrity is where our values and our actions meet. It's a matter of actions, what we do. That determines our integrity. Sometimes it's not easy to do what is right. But we should do what is right, not what is easy. This is illustrated very nicely in the Ramayana. Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai. So, Ram got married to Sita, and they had a wonderful wedding at Janagraj, a very nice wedding, Janakpuri in Mithila. And Ram went back, took blessings of his mother, Kaushalya. And then Kaikeyi, she told Dasarath that I want Ram banished from our kingdom. And Dasarath said, okay, he gave in to her. And did Ram complain? No. His father has given his word, so therefore, because of Ram's integrity to follow the instructions of his father, Ram immediately left for the forest with Sita, and they went. And Sita did not have to go. She asked Ram permission to go. Ram said, no, it's not a good idea. There are so many dangers in the forest. But Sita said, my father promised that I would be with you in good times and bad times. I will not make my father a liar. I am going with you. So Sita also went. This is her integrity. And also, Lakshman, the brother of Ram, also went along. He also did not need to go. And his wife, Urmila, she stayed back. So he was without his wife, and 14 years they're in the forest, and he's never sleeping. He's just doing the seva of protecting Sita and Ram. So this is his integrity, his sacrifice for his brother. So when one sacrifices and practices integrity, sometimes one is not successful. Sometimes we fail. But because we're acting with integrity, still we get the benefit. The example is that of Jatayu. Jatayu saw Sita being kidnapped by the powerful Ravana. He knew that he would fail, but still it was the right thing to protect Sita. So he tried his level best. And then Ravana cut off both of his wings, and he was dying there. So he failed. Ravana kidnapped Sita, but because he did the right thing, he acted with integrity, Lord Ram did his last rites, just like a son would do for the father. And Sita also acted with integrity in the Ashokvan. And Ravana came, come enjoy with me, I am very strong, forget Ram, become my wife. And she said, no, I will never enjoy with you. And he said, if you don't enjoy with me, I will eat you. But she did not care. She said, under no circumstances will I give up Ram. So Sita also acted with chastity. That was her value. She acted with integrity. It was not the easiest thing to do, but it was the right thing to do. She could have just said, okay, let's enjoy. He was strong, handsome, powerful. But no, she acted with integrity. It was not easy, but it was right. And Hanuman also acted with integrity. He was the servant of Ram Kadas. So he had to jump across the ocean to Lanka, and he faced the danger of Ravana setting his tail on fire. But despite facing all these dangers, he continued in his service to Ram. So this is the integrity of Hanumanji. Hanumanji ki jai. So another important quality is that of compassion. And compassion is illustrated by Lord Shiva. When the demigods and the demons, the Asuras and Asuras, were churning the milk ocean, Shir Sagar, then Vaish, this poison came out. So the poison was going to destroy the whole universe. But Lord Shiva, he took that poison and he drank that poison. It went in his throat and turned his throat blue color. And that's why he is called Nilkant. So out of Lord Shiva's compassion to help everyone else, self-sacrifice, he did this seva. So compassion is a wonderful quality. Compassion is also exhibited by our own Srila Prabhupada. Sato Sakehe Prabhupada America. At the age of 70, most people are ready to retire, right? When you're 70 years old, you want to be crossing the ocean in some steamship. Prabhupada did not know anyone in America. He had 3 heart attacks on the ship, but just out of compassion to distribute Krishna consciousness to the people in the Western countries like myself, He traveled at great physical risk. He almost died. And he distributed the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada encouraged us all to cooperate together to keep distribution of Krishna consciousness, to continue this act of compassion and integrity. So another quality is love. We want to cultivate love for people, and real love means love for the soul, not just the body. Because the body is here today and gone tomorrow. So if we only help people with their body, then we're only doing half the work. Just like if you have a boil. I had a boil on my neck yesterday. You know what is a boil? It's filled with pus, it's burning. You want to squeeze it and get the pus out. So if you go to a doctor with a boil on your arm and you say, "Doctor, I have this boil, please help me." The doctor say, yes, no problem, show me your arm. And the doctor will come and blow on the arm. Feels nice and cool. But after 2 seconds, again it's burning. So did the doctor really help us? No, just stopgap, temporary help. The same way, if we only help people with their bodies, it's only temporary help. Because at the end of this life, again, punarjanma, again, they'll take birth again have to go through janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, birth, death, disease, and old age. So the real help is to help ourselves spiritually and to help others spiritually. Help them with the soul. So the time of death is the final exam. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you remember me at the time of death, then you will not take birth again. You will come back to my eternal abode. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan chajante ante kalevaram tam tamevati konteya sadatad bhava bhavataha. Krishna says, sadatad bhava bhavataha. You will come to me, you will attain me. So we want to remember Krishna at the time of death. So Krishna is there, and we want to remember Krishna. Do you like the photo? I like this photo. So many Krishnas there playing football together. So if we can remember Krishna at the time of death, then we'll attain all success. So some may think, why do I have to chant Hare Krishna? I will just remember Krishna at the time of death. But it's not easy to remember Krishna at the time of death. Often surrounded by family. Daddy, please don't leave now. Oh, my husband, if you go, how will I pay the debts? What will happen? So a very difficult time at the time of death to remember Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says, Abhyasa yogena tato. We should practice. So practice means Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we need to keep calm and get ready for final exam. Keeping calm means practicing Krishna consciousness. So let us cultivate integrity, compassion, and love. We need to cultivate material knowledge that will give us our paycheck. And we need to cultivate spiritual knowledge that will give us real value. Not to just go through life, but to grow through life. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So this is our presentation on winning the game of life. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Shri Rukmini ki Jai, Shri Rukmini Dwarkadhish ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai, ISKCON ki Jai, Tagore Premanande, Hare. Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments? The Prashna hai, Tika Tapaya.
Krishna. Yes, I want you to know about the integrity, how can apply this 100% in material. Because today's we cannot follow, we cannot at a certain time, at every time we cannot follow the integrity.
So you're asking about practical application.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So these examples from scripture, from the Ramayana of Ram and Sita, Lakshman, Bharat, they cannot always be imitated in modern times. They're not meant to be imitated, but we're meant to gain inspiration from these personalities to do what is right. Not necessarily to do what is easy, but do what is right. Like we see an example of Bharat. So Bharat, he was Ram's brother, and Ram went to the forest. Bharat became king. Bharat took Ram's padukas, took his shoes, and put on the throne. And then when Ram came back, Bharat gave his padukas back. So in today's dealings, we see if the father leaves some land to two brothers, and who will get the land, that the other brother will not take the shoes. He will take the shoes and beat his brother in the head with the shoes. So this is the modern reality. So we should take inspiration from these great personalities, that we should do what is right. We should act with integrity, compassion, and love. So these are not to be imitated, but are meant to give us inspiration to do what is right, even though it may not be easy.
Basically, it will take us a certain time. It will take us some time.
Now is Kali Yuga. And to have Ram Raj in Kali Yuga is very, very difficult. This Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Pralayena Alpa chapter 10th shloka explains Kali Yuga. That Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, and people have very short lives. They're misguided, they're unlucky, they're always disturbed. So in Kali Yuga, there will always be difficulties. Just like I mentioned, this world is Dwarkadhish. There will always be miseries in this world. The material world is not a perfect place. But we should try to be representatives of Krishna and do our best to make the world a perfect place, although it will never become completely perfect, especially in Kali Yuga. So what can we do? Kalo doshanadhe rajan asti heko mahan gunan kirtanad yeva krishnasya mukta sangam param vijet. Then kaler dosha nidhe rajan. This age of Kali is a dosha fault, is a kaler dosha nidhi. It's an ocean of faults. Eke mahagunan, there's one good quality. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, chanting of Krishna's holy name. Mukta Sangam Parambrajan, by which one will become free of material contaminations. So we should understand this world is a faulty place and just go on chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada's guru name is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, he gave an example, Udaran. He said the world is like this material world, it's like a toilet. Now, when you go in the toilet, you don't hang around. You do your business and you get out. In America, where I'm from, they sometimes do hang around in the toilet. They make it very nice. They put some carpet on the floor. When I was growing up, my father installed one toilet seat and had cushion. So very comfortable. And next to the toilet, there was library. So you could sit on we call it the throne, like the king sits on the throne. You sit on the throne, take some magazine, enjoy, like this. But the toilet is not meant for that. You finish your business and get out. Indian toilets are more in accord. It's usually not so clean, especially public ones. So you do your business there, immediately get out. So this material world, also same way. We should do our business here, become Krishna conscious, help others become Krishna conscious. Bharata bhumate hoy, manusya janma jar, janma satakakari, para upakar. That one who is born in Bharat, their duty is to make their lives successful by becoming Krishna conscious, and then help others become Krishna conscious. So we want to finish our business here and get out. Not expect that Kali Yuga will become a perfect place. But from our side, we want to make the world as best as possible. And by chanting Hare Krishna, we bring the spiritual world to this world. Golokera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. That this Harinam is directly imported from the spiritual world. So we chant Hare Krishna, it's no longer Bhautik Jagat. It becomes Adhyatmik Jagat. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Jai, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In many editions of the Bhagavad Gita, in many editions of the Bhagavad Gita,
in many
editions,
different
editions of the
different editions of Bhagavad Gita,
the authors have mentioned that praying for happiness and joy,
for happiness and joy,
is praying that is polluted with passion.
Is praying that is polluted with passion.
So it is they have given the opinion that such praying should be avoided.
They are of the opinion that such praying should be avoided. Yes.
But my question is it unethical to pray for the end of sorrows and sadness?
Is it unethical to pray for
sorrows and sadness?
ending sorrows and sadness? Thank you for your question.
Is such praying considered polluted by passion?
Is such praying considered polluted by passion? The topmost praying, pure praying, is only for Krishna's pleasure, not for our pleasure. Srimad Bhagavatam explains, first canto, second chapter, text number 6. Savaipam samparo dharmo yato bhaktir adhoksajay ahoitaki pratiyata yatma supasidati. Savai Pumsam Puro Dharmo. For Pumsam, for a person, Paro, the top activity, Yato Bhaktir Adhoksajay. Is bhakti, is devotional service for Adhoksajay, the transcendence for Krishna. There are two parameters of bhakti that should be considered. Ahoituki, apratiyata. Ahoituki means unmotivated. Just like we don't do bhakti that we say, I will do this for you, Krishna. I want this in return. I'll do this bhakti for you. Please, you take my miseries. Please let me. You agree, huh? Yeah. So this is ahoituki, unmotivated. It's not a mercantile arrangement. It's not a business deal. It's not that I scratch your back and you scratch my back. The desire is we should do it in an unmotivated way. And ahoituki apratiyata. It should be uninterrupted. Just like the Ganges is constantly flowing to the sea, the bhakti, the service to Krishna, should constantly be going on in an uninterrupted fashion. As a result, yayatma suprasidati. The atma, the soul, becomes very much prasidati, happy and satisfied. So, yes, a prayer to Krishna to cease our misery is materially tinged and contaminated. However, it is better than no prayer at all. It's better than nothing. Blind uncle is better than no uncle. Right? Krishna says in Bhagavatam that if you have some material desires or no material desires, you should approach me. Because by approaching Krishna, then he's pavitram, he's pure. He'll purify us. Like when you put an iron rod in a fire, that iron rod also heats up like the fire, becomes red, like hot, like the fire, acts like fire. So even if we approach Krishna with some material motive, like ceasing our miseries, still we will benefit. So it's good to approach Krishna for anything, but the best is for pure, unmotivated devotional service. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Or kuch chahiye? Yes. How to balance between the material and the spiritual life? Yes, that's a very good question. And it depends time, place, circumstance. Every person is different. Every situation is different. But for most of us, it's good. We should have some salary should be coming in. We should be able to maintain family. We can have marriage. We can have a place for our family to stay and basically take care of the family. Along with that, we can encourage our family to engage in Krishna conscious activities. The family that prays together stays together. So if we can give Krishna consciousness to our family and be Krishna conscious ourselves, that is the best thing. We can come together with our family in the morning and in the evening and chant Hare Krishna and have some Krishna prasadam, maybe a little artik in the house. Come to Mandir, and to our best we can support the outreach, education, the preaching efforts, the distribution of Krishna consciousness within society. Does that answer your question? Yes? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. और कुछ चाहिए? Prabhuji has a question? Yes? Should we make this the last question, Prabhu?
We have sufficient time.
Okay. What's that? Okay, this is the last question, then we'll have some dancing
We
kirtan.
have sufficient time.
Okay, good. Okay, we have some time. If devotees have more questions, we can answer on the change. So thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu,
Prabhu, can you turn this off?
every country must have a purpose for its life. Is your life?
Say again, please. Everyone
Everyone has a purpose of his life.
Everyone has a purpose in their life.
And how do we find that purpose?
How do we find a purpose?
And
Can I answer that question before you go to the next one? Thank you so much. So, you're asking, how do we find out what is our purpose in life? So, the answer is there in Bhagavad Gita and also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a verse that goes, Jivera Surupa Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. That every jiva, every soul, every atma is eternally a servant of Krishna. So that is our purpose in life, to serve Krishna. The machine is running very nicely, but one screw just falls from the machine and is lying on the ground. And that screw is useless because it's not connected to the machine. The same way, if we're not connected to Krishna, then we won't feel satisfied. We won't be fulfilling our purpose. Just like all the limbs of the body are designed with the purpose of putting food in the mouth, so the food goes in the stomach. Now what would happen if one day the fingers, they say, we're going on strike, band. We want to enjoy this galabjaman ourselves. We're not going to put it in the mouth. We're just going to try to enjoy the galabjaman. So the fingers are trying to eat and squish the galabjaman. But they just get all sticky. And after a few days of this activity, the whole body becomes weak. So the proper function of the fingers is to work in conjunction, in cooperation with the whole body, to put the food in the mouth will go in the stomach. Food will go in the stomach. Similarly, our purpose is to cooperatively work together, serve together, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you pour water on the root of the tree, then all the leaves and the fruits and the flowers of the tree are automatically nourished. You don't need to pour water individually on each leaf, each fruit, each flower. Just pour water on the root, the mool of the tree. So our purpose is to pour that water on the root to serve Krishna, and then everyone will become satisfied. Does that answer your question? Use the mic, please.
Answer, like the spiritual purpose of our life. But what about the different aspect, like the materialistic way? If I have some goal, and like what do I have? What does it have that I want to serve for this? Like something else. That is the materialistic purpose of the life.
The materialistic purpose of the life is to keep the body and the soul together. One should desire a healthy life and self-preservation. One should not desire tremendous sense gratification. We don't need to have a big house in Switzerland and all these things. We just need to have a healthy life, self-preservation, because human form of life, this human life is meant for atanto brahma jigyasya. It's meant for inquiring about the absolute truth. Who am I? Who is God? Why do I have to die? What happens when I die? And how can I go back to the spiritual world? The animals, they're eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Human beings also do these same four things: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. The dog can eat in the street, the man can eat in the hotel. Eating is the same. The bird can sleep in the tree, the man can sleep in the bed. Sleeping is the same. Eating, sleeping, mating. The pigs, the hogs, they can have sex right in the street. The man can have sex in a nice hotel, but the sex is the same. And defense, the tiger defends with the claws, the man defends with a gun or atomic bomb, but the defense is the same. If a man is only eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and nothing more, then he's only two-legged animal. So we have this Manusya Janma, which is durlabha. It's very rare. We have to take advantage of this human form of life to go beyond eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and attain our real purpose in life, which is to renew our relationship with Krishna, become Krishna conscious, and help others also become Krishna conscious. Does that answer your question? Very good.
I have another question.
You have another question?
So you explain the things we do, like
Why is his microphone not working?
sometimes we get involved in such activities, like you can say it addiction.
Sometimes we get involved in addictions.
At the time we perform that activity,
At the time we perform that
like
activity,
addiction or smoking or whatever.
addiction may be smoking or some other addiction.
So at the time we know that it is wrong,
At the time we know it is wrong,
but
but still we do it.
yeah, right. So
Why?
how do I possess with self-control? How do I?
How we cultivate the self-control
Yes.
so that in the discipline to avoid doing what we know is wrong.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your nice question. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, he says in the 3rd chapter, text number 337, he says, Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajaguna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahatma Vidyanam Ihavehinam. He says it is lust alone, Rajagun, and later transformed into Krodh, into wrath, that is the all-devouring enemy of the world. So because we're in the modes of material nature, then Sattvagun, Tamagun, and Rajagun, we get affected by Rajagun. From Rajaguna comes